Hey everybody, this is Joshua Gilmore from Nowhere, California. And I'm realizing you know this is Nowhere, California, but this is how much Nowhere, California has become a part of my life. I will say this is as soon as I say this is Joshua Gilmore, it's always followed by either verbally or in my mind from Nowhere, California. Wrap your minds around that. Anytime I'm typing on a computer, anytime I'm typing a word that starts with N-O, instinctually I'll go into nowhere. Can you imagine how much this has become a part of my life? Enough of that. To explain these videos you're going to be seeing over the next couple of weeks during the project's duration. We're going to have different friends and family, and one and the same, because the people that you'll see in these videos are family to us. And we're going to get their thoughts, their feelings, and just everything they want to talk about the life of Nowhere, California, and where we hope it's going to go. To start out with me, honestly, over my life, I've always attempted different creative things. I always had that type of mind. I knew something would always be creative about me. I've tried different things, and I've taken big risks on different things. Some of them have fallen through the cracks. So be it. There was something different about this one. It started out with Smodcast, a very popular podcast by Kevin Smith. He's one of my personal heroes. And over time, I just kept on thinking, why not try this? Why not try a podcast? So I did. And I brought in one of my best friends on it. A guy I know from middle school, Philip Morgan. And without even giving it a second thought, Phil jumped right in. And it grew from there. We did our episodes. We had our ups and downs in the first few episodes where we kind of were maneuvering everything. And that's the one thing I've learned over time with this. You're never going to have a solid format until you know it's right. Honestly, we're 68 episodes into the series as of this recording, and we still try new things. And that's the whole thing about it. We always want to be creative output. And then we brought more people in. We brought in our friends, Matt White, Doug Porter, his wife Monique Porter, Nicholas Dye, and his wife Christina Dye. Monique and Christina, they were a little trepidatious about jumping into it because they thought it was a boys club, but honestly, when it comes to what Nowhere, California has become, the door is wide open for everybody. And that's kind of the one thing we've always heard from people after they've listened to some of the episodes. They always feel like they want to jump in the conversation. The conversations flow so perfectly that they feel like they're talking to their friends, and they don't even know us. Shocking, huh? But back to the creative stuff. Like I said, I've made different attempts and everything on different creative risks and ideas. But as I've told a lot of people now that we've gone over 3 years with Nowhere, California, Nowhere, California has become the most creative, fulfilling thing I've done in my life. And with that positive intake, I know with some of those other ideas that I've allowed to fall through the cracks, they may have fallen through the cracks, but they're not out of reach. And that's thanks to this show. So, to sum up everything I'm trying to say here is, we consider this a revolution. And no, it's 2 guys from the middle of nowhere with a bunch of other people from nowhere. But we are family. And Nowhere, California has become more than just a podcast. It's became something that we build our lives on. We want to make it bigger. We want to make it better. We want to hit this convention. We want to talk to this actor. We want to talk to this creator. And that's what has happened. We've talked to celebrities. We've talked to independent filmmakers. Recently, I've started getting screeners for movies that haven't even came out yet. As a movie fan myself, growing up as a movie fan, I would never think in a million years that I would get free access to screeners. And it boggles my mind still. It's a great boggling, but it still boggles. But I can go on and on and on about this. But to sum up everything and why you're listening to me talk right now, we want to take it to the next level. We call this Project Nowhere, and the subtitle for it is The Evolution of a Podcast Revolution. We want to evolve. To the listeners that have followed us throughout 3 years, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much. To the people that may have stumbled across us through Kickstarter, I've always had a motto of everybody deserves one shot. I ask you graciously to give us a shot. If you see fit to help us out, it'd be awesome. And we do have some really cool perks. And hopefully you become one of our listeners that enjoy the show. And see what happens when this is done.